coaches at one point made it seem like if you don't post on your page and you're not showing up, guess what? You're not going to get those sales. I don't show up on social media as me, but my brands do. They show up on their respective pages, and it has not caused a single lick of a problem. And now a lot of these same coaches are moving over to the very thing that they told us was not a good idea. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Podcast Trapper. I'm your host, Anna Agogo, founder of Black Pod Collective, Black Pod Festival, and Adode Media. And as you guys know, this whole podcast is about me sharing my experiences and taking you behind the scenes of the podcast space, everything from production to event, as well as community building. And this week on Anna's Hot Take, I'm talking about the death to personal brands. Now, I know you're probably thinking to yourself, Anna, personal brands can never actually die. It's necessary to be successful. Yes and no. I don't know if you guys remember around the time of COVID, everybody and their mother was becoming a coach. And all these coaches were telling us that it is important for us to build a personal brand, check and jive, give information, give value, entertain, and show up consistently day after day. And this was necessary for us as individual people who probably still had full-time jobs to do in order to build our business brand. Everything was centered around building a personal brand. And so I really want to kind of deconstruct that really quickly and go over what I'm seeing right now as an industry and what I'm seeing right now just in the space of content creators and business owners, and recognizing that those two things are not one and the same. A content creator is not automatically a business owner, and a business owner is not automatically a content creator. And it's time that we start separating those two. It is first completely fine if you as a content creator have no interest, no desires in any way, shape, or form of being a business owner. I said it. And granted, I will have another episode where I talk about turning your podcast into your media company and a brand, but that does not mean that you have to do that. I want us as a society, as well as an industry, to stop looking at things in such a monolithic manner. As creators, you can mold yourself into what you want, but same thing as business owners. I've always taken on the approach that I did not want to be the face of my brand. I did not want to be in front of the camera. I did not want it to be consistently my image. This is why when you look at Black Pod Collective, Black Pod Festival, as well as Adode Media, you do not see a lot of me. Now, granted, lately they've been making me show myself. I still feel a way about it, but I just go with it. The reason I've always taken this approach, though, is because of the fact that what happens when I'm tired? What happens when I'm sick? What happens when life happens? If people are consistently used to just seeing you week after week, time after time, and that's what is necessary in order to buy your service, in order to buy into your product, then do you really have a product and a service, or are you the product? Like, that's the piece I want us to start asking ourselves. Am I selling a product, or am I selling myself? And in this day and age of digital marketing and digital media and content creation and content being king, everybody has been selling to us that we should instead be turning our personal lives. Everything is content, everything is content, content. Stop and think about that. I hate when I go to restaurants and I see people posting about their food, posting about whatever is in front of them, because in this day and age, we've started living life through a screen and not through our eyes. Like, think of when you go to concerts. Like, everybody you see brings out their phone to then experience the concert through the phone. And my question always is, are you planning on going back and watching this whole thing? I strongly doubt it. And so I'm the person who seems like the crazy one because I never want to do that. I want to be in the moment. I want to experience things. Outside of the studio, I barely pull my phone out to get on stuff. When I'm posting in my stories, it's about work, but not my personal life. So this is where I want more creators to think about this. Those same coaches that were telling us that we should be utilizing everything as content. Those same coaches who were telling us that you had to have a personal brand in order for your business to thrive. Those same coaches who were kind of explaining to us and drilling to us that we had to do the latest TikToks, the latest reel dances, the latest lip syncing, all of those things. Those same people are now coming on to say that they are burnt out. A lot of them have quit their businesses altogether. Some of them have decided to do their business part-time and go back to corporate America, which once again, there's nothing wrong with that. But those same people are now feeling the effects of the same system that they built. So this is me saying to you that death to personal brands. My personal page, I want it to go back to where it's just me posting about my life. Now, granted, right now, I don't really have a life. So my life is this studio. But technically, when I get one, I would love to be able to not think about if it's curated, does it match the vibe, is it a feel? No. When I say death to personal brands, we need to stop focusing so much on ourselves. And I know for some people, you're like, well, I'm a content creator who creates about lifestyle content. Okay, that's fine. But those are things that very much so require you. See, I love what Think Media has done, and you'll hear them come up quite a bit because of the fact that they really do inspire me. And quite frankly, I would love to have you on the show. But when I stop to think of what Sean Cannell did, he's been able to build a brand that is not solely focused on him. What I mean by this is other people on his team create amazing content for his company. People are not shocked. They're not upset. They don't feel a way when they don't see Sean. He is still the one leading the helm, though. That's what I foresee for myself. I see where Matthew finally gets comfortable and he comes on camera. Again, other than that one episode. I see for myself to where at Adode Media, if we're putting out content, it does not require for it to be me, because I don't want you to think of me when you think of Adode. I want you to think of quality. I want you to think of the work that we put out there. Because when I get tired, I need to be able to step away without this crumbling. Now, granted, I'm still in the build phase, so I'm still very much involved in it, but it's not my face. It's not my likeness. Like when people book through the studio, they don't have a clue who I am. They know the quality, our video quality, our audio quality, our service, all of those things. And so as creators, how you apply this to yourself, because I know you guys have lately been like, Anna, you keep talking about entrepreneurship. I don't want to be an entrepreneur. Talk to me about being a creator. And that's great, well and good. But I want to make sure I'm giving you the full breadth of what it looks like to be a creator. Your personal brand, yes, it's definitely personal to you, like how I have AnnaAgogo.com. That serves as a great umbrella to find all things pertaining to me. So all three of my brands are there. My past speaking engagements are there. My media kit is there. Things about me as the person and what I enjoy and why I created the things that I created. All of that can be found there. But I look at it as a hub. So that this way you can, if you find me, you find my brands. But my brands speak for themselves. My business brand speaks very much for itself. Because I've built it. I've spent time on it. I've invested. I've researched. And I think that taking this notion of, I don't post on social media on my personal page. My personal brand does not really post because I don't have the capacity, nor do I care to really share my inner workings of my life because once again, I don't really do much. I'm here. And so with that in mind, it's like people make it seem, coaches at one point made it seem like if you don't post on your page and you're not showing up, guess what? You're not going to get those sales. I don't show up on social media as me, but my brands do. They show up on their respective pages and it has not caused a single lick of a problem. And now a lot of these same coaches are moving over to the very thing that they told us was not a good idea. And so this is not me knocking people because guess what? People can learn over time. They can realize that they made a mistake and move away from that mistake and make better decisions. But this is me saying, be mindful of who you're taking leadership from, taking counsel from. You know, I think in this day and age of the internet, everybody can have a mic, even myself. You should take this with a grain of salt. You do not know me. Most of you do not know me in real, actual life. You see me on the internet. You have no clue if I'm actually really knowledgeable. I hope my content and what I've been able to build shows you that I am. But at the same token, recognize that I'm human. So my thought process about things today can be different tomorrow. At one point, I didn't think video was needed. I felt like it was a fad. And look at me now, 3 camera angles with the whole studio, and this is what I do. And so I'm not here to call out coaches to be like, see, you were wrong and you led us astray. No, I'm here to remind people that there's more than one way to do things. And listening to what everybody else is doing is not always going to be what's best for you. So I say death to the personal brand because I never got on top of that wave. I never felt like it had to be me because I believe that it was possible for it to be done differently because I've seen it from people who didn't look like me. So I know that, hey, if they deserve it, I deserve it too. And so this is my hot take. If you know that something that this industry does as a creator, as an independent, as a freelancer, as a business owner, does not fit into your lifestyle and how you want to show up in the world and operate in your business and your creativity, then don't do it. Do it differently. Pave your own way. Be the mad, crazy person that everybody else is like, they're gonna fail. Prove them wrong. So, this is your reminder. This is me coming to you to just say, this is what I'm seeing. And that's the whole premise of Hot Takes. Hot Takes are me just really sharing with you my thought process. It's me venting a little bit because sometimes I'm a little bit like, yeah, what in the world? So it's a little bit of that, but also kind of encouraging you to make better decisions and understand that, hey, these are the things that are going on and these are my thought processes about it. Now, I would love to hear what your thoughts about personal branding and really kind of putting yourself out there is. Are you for it or against it? Please go ahead and shoot me an email at support@adodemedia.com because I would love to hear your take on this. Thank you again for tuning in, and I hope that you like this. Make sure you like, subscribe, as well as share and tell a friend that the podcast trapper is out here trapping out the window. Until next time, guys, you guys have a good one.